Virgo, very warm welcome. My name's Drew. This is Modern Tarot. This is a reading for the last couple of weeks of July. I hope you guys are doing well, Virgo. Those of you that are new here, welcome. Those of you returning, welcome back. And to all my personal clients who I know check out these videos, shout out to you guys. So, Virgo, let's have a look. What's going to be happening for you, around you, how you might be showing up in the world throughout the last couple of weeks of July, and maybe some pleasant surprises and possible outcomes for you. Let's have a look, Virgo. One more. Money might be something that's on your mind throughout the last couple of weeks. King of Pentacles wanted to show itself there, along with the Queen of Pentacles. Let's have a look. One more shuffle, guys. Some kind of victory as well is coming your way throughout the last couple of weeks of July, Virgo. I mean, that could be, success in work, success, due to health reasons, you've overcome things and these kind of things. So let's have a look. So Virgo. Beautiful. All right. Center of this reading. Okay. This is taking care of yourself. This is self-love. This can be an offer of love. All right. I'm going to go deeper with this reading. So stick around, guys. Ace of Cups is a beautiful center of the reading. Okay. This is penultimate self-love. Okay. The challenge for you. All right. We got the Queen of Wands. Okay. A fire sign might be significant. Okay. It could be a female. All right. The challenge is the Queen of Wands. This can also be, even though, you know what, I'm really loving myself. Sometimes my confidence levels, can be a bit of an issue throughout the last couple of weeks of July. Okay, and it can be, for some of you guys, you might have gone through, some health things or just checkups and these kind of things, and it's been a challenge. It's taken away from your fire. Reason why it's all happening. All right, some of you've gone through a bit of a spiritual time, Virgo, where you've really been, you might have been a little bit quiet, but you're learning, you're watching, and these kind of things, all right? So some of you might have really delved into spirituality, really looking at the deeper parts of life, the deeper parts of yourself, okay? In the recent past, okay, you stopped fighting for something, Virgo. You kind of like dropped the guard and thought, you know what, I'm not fighting for this. If this is about love, you realize that, you know what, I'm loving myself here and I'm building my confidence. Okay. And not only that, but you know what, I'm nurturing my spiritual side here. And I'm kind of like, I'm not fighting for things that once I used to fight for because I didn't love myself. Is this making sense to you, Virgo? Okay. Your focus throughout the last couple of weeks of July, Virgo, it really is about letting go of the past. The Six of Cups in the upright, it's a card of childhood. It's a card of, can be soulmates, these kind of things, all right? But it's reminiscing. It's fond memories of the past, particularly childhood, all right? So a lot of you, there might have been things that, you lived with, like certain coping mechanisms, the way you thought about yourself, the way you were taught to think about yourself in childhood from projections, okay, from teachers, primary caregivers like your parents, your peers. A lot of you have done a lot of internal work leading up until this reading, up until the last couple of weeks of July, but you're really starting to love yourself, okay? And the Queen of Wands is just around the corner where you feel super confident and ready to go again. But you might have been doing a lot of internal work here with the High Priestess here. People might find you a little bit mysterious, Virgo, throughout the last couple of weeks of July. But look, what you don't see coming towards you, you might have done a lot of reflection, a lot of self-accountability, okay? But you're coming out of hermit mode. You might start to feel a little bit more social and getting out there a little bit more, Virgo. Liking this for you. Your energetic field, all right. We've got the Ten of Cups in reverse. Your energetic field, Virgo, is even though you don't feel emotionally blissful, your Ten of Cups, you don't feel like you quite got there or are there throughout the last couple of weeks of July, but it's only 2 weeks, guys. Remember, it's a 2-week reading. So your energetic field is, although you're not super, super happy, okay, you might be joyful. And what I mean by that, guys, is there's happiness and there's sadness, but in between there's joy. And that's, very much the high priestess. Look at this card here. It's duality, the black and the white. Okay. So you see through the veil of chasing happiness is a fool's game. Okay. Where we realize happiness comes, this too shall pass. Sadness will come in life. This too shall pass. But in between is joy, accepting the good and the bad and being peaceful with that. Okay. So just what your expectations around happiness throughout the last couple of weeks of July. Outside influences, we've got justice in reverse. For some of you guys, you might have gone through court cases and these kind of things, and things didn't go in your favor. Somebody might feel that something was unfair. I'm just saying, all right, it's an outside influence. I'm going to clarify this reading, so stick with me, Virgo. Your fears. Okay, we've got the moon in reverse here. You've got so many major arcanas in this reading, right? So it's a powerful time for you the last couple of weeks of July, Virgo. You fear, to fear the moon in reverse, you fear being transparent, some of you, authentically transparent. Some of you might feel that, I'm walking around the world with this mask that I'm super confident and everything's great, but you realize that, that's just pursuit of happiness, okay? And so you fear secrets coming to light, the end of illusions, the end of fantastical thinking, all right? Because that can be quite comforting, Virgo, and that can be a form of escapism, right? We can escape into fantastical thinking and everything's amazing, everything's awesome. But it's not, life is black and white. Life is duality, good and the bad, the light and the dark, happiness and sadness, all right? And then we've got the Knight of Pentacles as an outcome. So, Virgo, how this is going to play out for you, it's not a negative reading at all, guys. Self-love is the pinnacle of this reading, okay? Dropping the fight on things that detract from your self-love, make you feel less than confident, less than attractive. Really working on your spirituality, the deeper parts of you, whatever form that takes, guys. What is spirituality to you? There's many forms, okay? Doesn't have to be banging gongs and wearing malas and praying all the time. Spirituality can, for me, it just manifests in people's faces, in the eyes. The eyes are like the universe of the soul for me. And so, Virgo, I think you're going to get very real. You're going to get very grounded, that life is up and down. There is good and bad. There's black and white in life, duality. I'm letting go of any childhood coping mechanisms or projections onto me through this deep inner work, and I'm starting to love myself. And the Queen of Wands is just around the corner, where my confidence is ready to rock and roll. I'm already going to start getting out there a little bit more social, not so much a homebody and hermit mode, all right? Which is a beautiful card, all right? Hermit mode used in the right way is a fantastic way to be, albeit temporarily, okay? We're not living totally in hermit mode unless we're a monk, living on top of a hill in a wooden hut and meditating all day long, okay? We live in the real world, don't we, Virgo? Where we've got to socialize, we've got to go to work, we've got to do, get shit done, basically. Let's have a look. Let's clarify this reading now, okay? And see what this is all about. So Virgo, why is the Ace of Cups here as the center of the reading? Remember, it could be an offer of love, okay? But it's predominantly in this reading for you. This is self-love. And I'm not talking about self-pampering, Virgo, where we go and we emotionally spending and all these kind of things. That's not self-love, that's self-pampering. Self-love is deep inner work, dealing with old wounds and triggers and, walking around the house smiling to, get those muscles working again. Yeah, look, you're not foolish with your self-love either, We got the Fool in reverse here. You're not kidding yourself about what it is to do the inner work, Virgo. It's a very deep reading for you, okay? You're getting very deep here, Virgo. Okay, the challenge for you guys, some of you might be dealing with a fire sign. It's a challenge about this choice in love. Okay, is it a right choice? Is it a good choice? It might be quite challenging in love, okay? Others of you, it's a challenge to make that choice and to step into your confident side. Okay, just for some of you, it's not a personal reading, guys. Yeah, look, you're under no illusions. Moon again in reverse here. You're under no illusions now. You're seeing life, Virgo. The black and the white, the deep, dark and ugly, and the beautiful. And you're not, I don't think you're being superficial. You're being very authentic because you've done some self accountability. You've done some inner work here coming into the last couple of weeks of July. You're letting go of the past. Your focus was reflecting on the past, reflecting on where you've been, what's brought you to today, past situations, all these kind of things, all right? But you're coming out of it. And it's the right thing to do. You feel ready. You feel that it's the right thing to do now to get back out there again, okay? The Queen of Wands, she's no longer a challenge. My confidence levels, I'm going for it. Yeah, recent past, you stopped fighting for things that were stuck or you felt stagnant. You gave up the fight. The word surrender comes to mind, Virgo. There might have been certain situations in work, in love, in life that you surrendered and you just thought, path of least resistance. I'm not fighting for something that seems stuck. Maybe I'll come back to it at a later time, all right? Look, even though you haven't got your Ten of Cups, Virgo, you're happy. Look at the sun here. This is your energetic field. You might be quite radiant and people will really enjoy being around you with the sun here, okay? So your energetic field looks good, even though, internally, you haven't really got to your Ten of Cups, all right? Okay, some of you might have been unfairly treated by a Sagittarius. I'm just saying, all right? Doesn't have to be, guys. But, we've got, even though something was a little bit unfair or you felt mistreated or something didn't go in your favor, Virgo, you're remaining balanced, okay? Okay, some of you fear that secrets might come to light, that somebody, is a little bit of a Knight of Wands, that you'll invite them round to dinner and they keep their coat on, that kind of character where they don't settle and you can't be your authentic self around them. The Knight of Wands, he's here for a chapter. He's not here for the whole book of your life, right? Can be a little bit opportunist, can be a little bit immature, takes action without thinking about consequences, lacks, sometimes the depth of the hermit, which is self-accountability and putting yourself in somebody else's shoes. Okay, Virgo, you're not going to be exerting yourself too much into situations. Okay, I think what you're actually going to be doing the last couple of weeks of July, you're going to be holding a little bit back of your efforts and waiting around. So it's almost like, you'll sow the seed, Virgo, and then you'll wait. The path of least resistance. You're not going to be fighting and exhausting yourself for things that might be a little bit stagnant or a little bit stuck, okay? Like, watching paint dry, watching a kettle boil. You're not going to be doing that. You're just going to get on, do other stuff, but not invest in those areas where you can't really see the growth, because you realize the most loving thing I can do for myself, keep it moving, and not try to force things. The path of least resistance, okay, is key for you throughout the last couple of weeks of July. If it's about love, Virgo, all right, throughout the last couple of weeks, I have a message for love for you guys, all right? It's good. It looks like you've done some deep reflection, though, and you're coming out of hermit mode. Actually, I just want to pull a card on top of that hermit, okay? Yeah, you're going to start communicating, opening up again communication, being more communicative after maybe a time of reflection, Virgo, where you've been really looking at many areas of your life. So watch out for that. You don't see it coming. People might turn around and say, hey, Virgo, you never shut up these days. You know what I mean? So, but people are going to be really happy to see you. Okay, even though inside, Virgo, you're remaining balanced. All right, despite what's going on in your life, that things aren't moving in the direction or at the speed that you want throughout the last couple of weeks. Pay attention to the red flags. If this is about love, guys, all right, pay attention to the red flags. The signs are cautioning you. Family issues. your love life benefits as you forgive your parents. For some of you guys, deep inner work, regarding your past and coping mechanisms, projections onto you when you were a child. You know, um, if we look at Jungian therapy, and we got the mascot, the golden child, the scapegoat. Scapegoats are beautiful people. They're creative, they're arty, but they feel like they've got the weight of the world on their shoulders. And it's just that the family dynamics set them up to take all of the dysfunction of the family, whereas the golden child suffers just as much. Parents live their life through that child and put them under huge pressure. you know they wanted to be a doctor, never made it to being a doctor, so they forced the kid into being a doctor, and he doesn't really want to do it. He's only doing it to get love from the parent, and then he comes into his adult life and goes, I don't want to be a doctor. I'm miserable as sin. I'm high on coke half the day, or I'm drinking too much because it's so stressful. I only did it for my parents. They pushed me into it. Do you get what I mean? So interesting, right? We're going a bit deep here, guys. All right, it's safe for you to love in reverse, Virgo. And I think for some of you guys, you might be seeing the writing on the wall that somebody might be a little bit of an opportunist, and you know, you might choose self-love over, showering people with love. It might be very key for you, your own inner work. You're going to be your own best friend. Your own biggest project is healing, growth, stepping into the Queen of Wands, getting your confidence back, where you're making really healthy choices in line with self-love, not self-pampering. All right, but people are really going to be happy to see you with the sun here. This is your energetic field, okay? And that might surprise you, Virgo. All right, it might be what you need now is coming out of hermit mode and being more communicative. Shining your light, for others, which eventually, turn your 10 of cups upright. Okay, sometimes by giving to others after we've done so much inner work is a great remedy for our internal happiness. Let's have a look, Virgo. Something to consider. All right. Throughout the last couple of weeks, something for you to contemplate, although you've done a lot of that, Virgo, and you're probably saying, stuff it, Drew, no more self-reflection, no more hermit mode for me. But just something that you might have overlooked, Virgo, or something that might be quite key for you throughout the last couple of weeks of July. All right, let's have a look. Home, Virgo. Color red might be quite important. This is all about being grounded, Virgo. And do you remember what I was saying to you? Being grounded is seeing the light and the dark, the good and the bad. In between, there's joy. So make your home joyful, okay? Shelter, safety, nurturing, and warmth. Your home might be a bit of a sanctuary for you, okay? Virgo. Color red might be quite important. And visualization, imagination, focus, experience, and manifestation. All right? Visualize what you want, Virgo. Work on your visualization. Work on manifesting in the right way. What's the words that you speak and how you're manifesting. Let's have a look. If you're a song, Virgo, throughout the last couple of weeks of July, the band might mean something to you. The lyrics might mean something. The melody might evoke certain feelings within you. Even just the title might mean something, all right? So a song for you, Virgo. Last couple of weeks of July for Virgo. You're Still the One, Shania Twain. Whatever that might mean for you guys, give it a listen to. Maybe there's something there. How that sits into this reading, guys, don't really know. It's not a personal reading, right? But You're Still the One, Shania Twain. So, some of you guys might still be in relationships, and, things might have been a little bit stagnant within the relationship, okay? But this person's still the one. Yeah, you've been looking at past behaviors and these kind of things and reflecting and self-reflecting on maybe how you showed up in that relationship. And, home might be quite important, all right? And visualizing the outcomes of situations that you're already in and how you can change it, by improving your communication, with the Hermit there and the Eight of Wands is rather than keeping it all in, open, honest communication. Okay. These kind of things. Let's have a look. One of these, positive mantra for you, Virgo, throughout the last couple of weeks of July. For you, Virgo, something for you to repeat to yourself. Yes, yes, yes. Whatever you're asking or wondering about, Virgo, the answer is a strong yes. The timing is right and you're ready to move forward. And do you remember it was a challenge for you to make really healthy choices in love, in life, with the lovers here? It's a card of choice. And the Queen of Wands, having the confidence to do it, all right? So sometimes this keeps coming back to me for you guys in this reading, the path of least resistance. The more we force something, we're going to receive some kind of inertia. And I think you're going to learn the art form of true manifestation where you're putting in the effort, because nothing can manifest without taking effort, right? But realizing when I'm doing too much, when I'm trying to force things, when I'm trying to control things, when really I should just take my foot off the gas and let it coast. Okay? Let's have a look. Where was I going to go now? I've done a song for you, haven't I? One more for love. Okay, one more message for love for you, and then I'm going to love you and leave you on that note, Virgo. Looks like a good month, right? Loads of growth, all right? Loads of growth here. Loving yourself, Virgo, which is great, all right? Some of you, look, some of you might doubt whether it's true love situations that you're in. But you remember, romantic relationships are the most triggering of all relationships. Okay, so stick with them, guys. Communication. It's not a dirty word. Okay, and nor is compromise. Um, you know, do all you can. Know when to take your foot off of the accelerator. And let the other person reveal themselves to you, Virgo. Don't be going around trying to fix everything. Give that person a chance to be reflective too. Okay. So look, it looks like an amazing month for growth for you, Virgo. Have an amazing last couple of weeks of July, please. My name is Drew. This is Modern Tarot. If you like the content, please like, share, or subscribe. It means I can continue to do this for free for you. If you want a personal reading, you can reach out at moderntarot.net directly or browse the YouTube Modern Tarot store, and I'll do my best to give you some clarity on your personal situations. In the meantime, Virgo, look after yourselves, and I'll see you back here for another reading. Take care. Bye.